Hey YouTube, this is Betta Tank, and today we're going to take a little trip to one of my viewers' houses and check out his fish room. We don't do it a lot on this channel, but I think I'll like to do it more because it's really interesting, and I think you're going to like it. It's coming up right after this. This is pretty exciting. Here we are.
Hey Sean, what's up?
Hey Billy, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. Just hanging out. Been waiting on you.
All right, I'm excited to see what we got going on. Ooh, right off the bat, you got a snake in there?
Yep, that's Miss Snakey.
Miss Snakey.
Yep.
What kind of snake is it?
She's a ball python. She's a little shy right now, but she's about 4.5 feet long.
Wow.
Yep.
All hiding in that rock.
Yep. So that's her warm spot. She really digs it in there.
Okay, Billy, so what do you want to show me first?
We should go look at the pond.
Yeah, okay, let's do it. Oh, wow. We've got the all-natural thing going on out here, huh?
We like to keep it lush.
So, tell me about the plants that are in here.
Well, this is a 40-gallon breeder tank that I have set up on cinder blocks and 2x4s because it's cheap. These are water hyacinth.
I've never seen water hyacinth grow like this.
That's what happens when it gets shade through the first half of the day and sun through the second half of the day.
You got a little mosaic plant hiding in there.
That's my mosaic plant.
What are these?
I'm not sure what these are called, but they have just done awesome out here.
Those are cool.
And this is sensitive plant. If you tap it, it gets its feelings hurt.
Like,
You tap it,
oh, look at that.
it gets its feelings hurt and it goes away.
Oh man, there's another one. I gotta play with it. I can't. I'm trying to see it with the camera. Here we go. Shoot. Look at that. How neat. I love it. And do you have some fish in here too?
I do. We have mosquito fish or gambucha minnows in here. I also have one giant catfish, which would be cool if he would just come out right now, but he probably won't.
It's really thick in there. I guess they got a lot of bugs to eat and all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Right. There's a lot of mosquitoes in there. We got a bunch of dragonfly larvae.
Cool little seed pod.
That's my rosy cloud lotus seed pod.
How neat. All right, let's see that fish room.
All right, let's go.
Whoa! Oh, this is gorgeous. Just like everywhere you look. Oh my gosh.
Packed as much in here as I could.
Hey, you know what? I think this calls for a Billy Fish Room Tour montage. Why don't you tell me? Why don't we just go around it? Tell me about each of these tanks here. Tell me about this guy.
This is a 40-gallon Oceanic cube. This is my Tanganyikan tank. You can get a better view from the side. Some of the Tanganyikan's in there.
Oh, they like to hide in those rocks.
They love to hide in those rocks. They're always up in those rocks. There's a bunch of different kinds in here. I have 2 Lulupis, a Dick Fieldy, 2 Calvis, a Pearly and a Black Calvis, and then that spotted guy, which I don't remember his name. But this is just a hodgepodge of rocks and shells and some giant moss. I call them Mohawk.
Let's see if I want to change the exposure so we can see this guy. Oh, yeah.
They're really pretty fish when they come out. And then there's a green fairy cichlid in the back underneath that power head.
Just hiding in there. Whoop.
They're pretty skittish.
Yeah. All right, so you say and this one's drilled out, huh?
Right, I bought this tank from my tattoo artist actually. He needed space, so I got a really good deal on it. This is the first tank I've ever had like this that had the trickle filter built into the back, and I really like it.
So underneath here you got looks like a sump. Oh, a light helps.
Right. I'm not exactly sure the specs on the sump or the pump because I just bought everything from him. But
was this originally saltwater or did he have fresh water?
It was originally saltwater.
And you converted it with no problems?
Right, I just drained it and cleaned it all up really well and just filled it up, let it cycle. It did take a really long time to cycle the water. I guess because of leftover bacteria from the salt.
And it looks like you've got crushed seashells in here. Is that to kind of keep the pH high?
Yeah, it keeps the pH pretty high. I run the pH in this tank about 9, just because it seems to make the colors pop on the Tanganyikan cichlids more.
Oh, okay. What kind of light is that?
It's just a Up Aqua LED. It's a grow light. It's supposed to help grow plants. I don't really need it for this tank because I just have.
You've got a lot of low light plants, but they seem to.
Plants. The Anubis and the moss in there.
They seem to be reacting well, especially that moss. It likes that light a lot.
The moss loves the light. I have a huge. We're constantly pulling moss out of tanks and taking it to the local fish store and selling it off. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, and down here we've got a very cool Betta Tank, and look, he's out. See if we can get a good look at him here.
That's Dracaris.
Dracaris.
I'm not a nerd or anything.
Oh, gorgeous tank. What can you tell me about it?
This is a Mr. Aqua Rimless. I think it's 17 gallons. I'm just running an Aqua Clear on the back. I have a surface skimmer on the back of that, kind of just keep everything on the top clean.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've got that same one.
I know. That's where I got it from.
Very cool.
It works really well. I have a bunch of banana plants down here that we've been growing off. My hopes were that the banana plants would grow to the top and then he would make bubble nest on the banana plants.
Oh, yeah.
But so far, no luck.
Yeah, they're not growing up.
They're not really growing. Well, I got one at the top, but he hasn't made any attempts at a nest yet.
Looks like you've moved your mosaics up here too, huh? From the pond?
Well, we started them in this tank. They grow really fast, so I'm always trimming them, putting them out other places. This is another one of those Up Aqua lights. Once I find something I like, I tend to buy a lot of them.
I tell you, I really like those lights. I think they do a really great job.
They do really well. They're great for growing plants.
See how close I can get.
They're really bright.
Without scaring him.
He's not afraid of anything, really.
This is a wide angle lens, so it's like things are closer than they appear. All right.
There's some giant Amano Shrimp in there. I don't know if they're out. Oh, right there's one.
I've been surprised at how incredibly long-lived Amano Shrimp can be.
I just bought a couple more for this tank, but before that we had the same ones in here for about 2 years.
I've got some that I will swear to you are upwards of 9 or 10 years old.
That's incredible.
That's a long time for a
really
crustacean.
I do not have great luck with shrimp, but they're really good cleaners. They keep all the algae down in there. It's hard to keep things with your cars because he likes to kill them.
Yeah. All right, and right here we have, looks like a Betta Sorority.
This is my Betta Sorority tank. This is an 11-gallon Aqua Springs rimless tank.
That's the one with the little spinny thing at the top where the water goes down?
Right.
Dude, taking it off, it looks so much better without that little weird piece of plastic on top.
I think this is how they should market it. But it's completely over filtered. I have a whale filter on it that's good for a 75-gallon tank.
Really?
Yeah. But I also have a UV sterilizer back there, just kind of keep the water cleaned up. I was having problems with hair algae, so.
And the UV sterilizer helped with that?
It did. It helped a lot with that. It just kind of took some of the nutrients out of the water, so the hair algae didn't have much to grow on. Then the little Siamese algae eater guy.
Oh, they help a lot too, don't they?
He destroyed some hair algae in pretty much overnight one day.
Gorgeous little fish in here.
The light on that tank is actually for a saltwater tank, but it does amazing at growing plants.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So about how many gallons is that?
This is 11 gallons.
11 gallons. You've got a whale connected to it somewhere?
Yeah, it's down there. Actually, this is the sea egg.
Oh yeah, okay. Wow. And you know, it's turning up some water, but it doesn't seem like too much. Looks like you've got another little box filter in there.
I'm gonna build a beta bowl for my niece and nephew for Christmas, so I'm just letting that little box filter cycle in there.
Oh, good idea. I love doing that. Every now and then I'll take another filter and I'll throw it in just to kind of keep things going.
I also have little bags of biomedia and my sump filters just kind of hanging out in case I need to use them to cycle a tank.
Do you have CO2 going to this one, or is that's going over here, isn't it?
This is going to the big tank, yeah. The big tank it needs a little help with the plants. I don't know if it's just because it's so large, but I have 2 lights on there. Two big ones, huh? 2 of the Up Aquas. This guy also runs off of a trickle filter and a gigantic sump pump.
Wow.
Because overkill is underrated.
You've got a wide variety of fish in here too.
I do. We have some Madagascar rainbows. I have some turquoise rainbows, just some regular. In the back I have a sailfin molly. That's my bushfish.
Wow, gorgeous fish in here.
A couple of moonlight gouramis. And the stars of the show are Goofus and Doofus, who are my electric blue Acaras, who are camera shy today, I guess.
I think I see one over here.
Normally they pop right out when I get the camera out. Yeah, the little one is Doofus, the big one is Goofus. But under here is the filtration system for all of this.
Oh my. Yeah, I got the classic aquarium life support wet dry filter there.
Yeah, it's a little dirty in the bottom, but I clean it out maybe once a month.
That's awesome.
And the poly filter on the top, gotta love that stuff.
Oh, yeah, polyfilter's amazing, isn't it? I think I got some Cory cats way back in there.
Bunch of Cory cats. These plants, this is Bacopa.
Bacopa.
Bacopa. I have some Cardinals plants in there as well.
Oh, yeah. What are these?
You know, I'm not sure. It was at the local fish store, Ralph, the owner,
Yeah.
had a stick of these in his personal tank that he let me try to cultivate, and it's done pretty well.
Yeah, that's a new one on me. I don't think I've seen that.
I got some Tiger Lotus in the middle there.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of peeking its head up.
It's trying. It's doing its best. The moss kind of overtakes it every now and then. We got to trim it back.
Very cool. Okay. Let's swing around over here. Tell me about this little guy.
That is my snail colony. There's a bunch of different types of snails in there. We have ram horns, Malaysian trumpets, rabbit snails, Japanese trapdoor snails.
And one little tiny cichlid.
And one little tiny cichlid who never grew, so he lives in there with all the snails. He thinks he's a snail now.
And of course the snail colony are to feed
My BB puffers.
your BB puffers.
Who are really fat.
These are some of the fattest BB puffers I've ever seen. They look very well fed.
I know you share my love of puffers.
Oh, I love these things.
I
So,
actually started this tank after seeing the tank you did for your sister.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, this one's come out a lot better.
This tank has really been a pain in the butt. I
Well,
try to fertilize the Anubis and it just turns the entire tank green.
Oh,
for
really?
days, so I have to keep polyfilter in there to keep it cleared up. But I mean, it looks really good today, so I'm happy with that.
It can be tough because the things that normally you put in to clean a tank just aren't going to work with these guys because they'll eat them.
The BB puffers will destroy most things. I think I have one blood fin tetra left in there. We had 5 to cycle the tank.
Yeah.
Really fast, so I couldn't catch them, so we just kind of sacrificed them to the puffer gods.
Sure.
I do have one good size loach in there, but he seems to be hiding.
He's probably in the rocks in there
He
somewhere.
likes to get underneath this piece of driftwood.
So how many do you have? It looks like 4.
I have 4. I was gonna try for more, but I think 4 is a good number for this size tank.
BB puffers are pretty amazing fish.
I think they're awesome. They have really good personalities. They know what I'm gonna feed them. We keep snails in there, but I also feed them blackworms. And when I come to the tank to feed them, they all come to the top.
Do you have trouble keeping this many?
No, I think there's plenty of hiding spots in there, and they seem to all have their own little territories.
Cool. All right, now the big tank.
This is my baby. This was the first tank that Anna and I started together.
This is amazing. There are so many fish in here. Look at that guy.
At last count, we had about 50 fish in here, and then we stopped counting. There are 2 good-sized catfish. I got to pick this catfish down there on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
In his little hidey hole. And then there's a big Synodontis right here.
Oh, yeah. They love to hide, don't
They
they?
do love to hide. The catfish are pretty essential for this tank because they take over any leftover food. They also clean up the casualties that I can't get to right away.
Ah.
And since this is an ongoing breeding tank, there are quite a few casualties.
Oh, from the babies
From
and
the
stuff.
babies. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes you'll just be sitting here watching them, and then all of a sudden, they get gulped up.
Boom.
Yep.
So what kind of fish are in here?
Oh man, there's so many fish I don't even know. This is a red top cobalt. This is a red cichlid. That stripy guy in the back that looks like a leopard is a Livingston cichlid. This right here is a big strawberry cichlid. We have 2 of those. One's a male, one's a female. I've been trying to get them to breed, but I don't think it's taking.
So when they start to breed, do they just push everybody to the corner somewhere and then?
Well, they like these pods because they're flat and they're smooth on the bottom, smoothish on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you'll see this guy right here normally will get in there with one of these ladies here, and they'll start circle swimming around. And if you've ever seen Africans breed, the female drops the egg, and then the male comes around and fertilizes it, and then he comes around again and picks it up in his mouth.
Aren't you glad we don't have to do that?
Yeah, for real. That's yeah.
That doesn't sound fun.
Right. So mama carries the eggs in her mouth to keep them oxygenated until they're ready to swim out, and then they just swim out, and then they look like these little guys over here when they're ready. I got one in that hole right there.
Oh yeah.
He's probably about 3 weeks old.
So tiny. Okay, and so next to it here, that's almost as big.
This is a 40-gallon Oceanic Wet Dry sump filter.
Really?
Right. It just runs off a big old pump. It keeps a bunch of biomedia in there. Can you see in there? Swap out this mechanical media about once a week. Keep the water. I do all my water changes out of the siphon box.
Okay. Oh, so you just really do it out of here?
Yep. I will siphon the gravel in the bottom, just to make sure we get all the food particles and poo things out of there.
And you've got overflows here.
The overflows,
Overflow boxes.
which are pretty cool. This was the first time I'd ever used an overflow box in any of my tanks.
So basically, they create a siphon.
Right. The pump pumps the water out of the filter box into the tank. Once it gets to a certain level, the water goes through the siphon hose, or goes into the box through the siphon hose, down through the tube, back into the siphon box.
So what happens when the power goes out?
They just stop.
Everything just stops.
Well, it's kind of like if the power went out like this. It holds the suction because it's got water on both sides.
Okay.
And then when the power comes back on,
But there's nothing pushing the water through there, huh? Except for gravity?
just gravity. When the pump fills the tank back up, you'll see it start to push through.
Oh, wow. How interesting.
Watch that air bubble. It's gonna go down in a second.
So it just gradually fills the tank back up,
Yep.
and then the siphon just begins anew.
Yep. This is completely over filtered, but I kind of had to do that to have this many fish in there.
Yeah. Wow.
But it filters about 1,000 gallons an hour, and this is a 75-gallon tank. So
Oh, looks like you've got a couple of those little spotlights. Do those work okay?
yeah, they do. You want to see what they look like?
I just got one of those the other day. Oh, man. Oh, cool. So do you have this going at different times of the day?
Yeah, this is on from about 8 o'clock to midnight. We work nights. We're both bartenders, so
How cool.
our fish wake up at noon and go to bed at midnight. So
Oh, and they're cycling through colors too, huh?
yeah, that was a happy accident. I have two. They're two separate, but they cycle the same.
So you just got them timed.
I just have them plugged in and they on the timer and they come on. Timers are awesome.
Well, that's cool. So, Billy,
Yep.
have you been watching the show for a while?
I have probably about a year and a half now.
And did you know I live like 10 minutes from your house?
Not until today.
So when you found the show, did you hear about me and know I was in Knoxville already, or did you come across it and then find out?
Devin at Aquarium
Yeah.
let me know that I should check out your blog because I would love it, and he was right. I did. And then I found out that Kerrigan was your daughter.
Yeah.
And I basically stalked her every day until I worked up the courage to ask you to come look at my fish room.
Oh, Kerrigan tells me that you would come into the aquarium about twice a week. So when I said, is he like really a serious fish keeper? She said, he ought to be. Because he's there a lot buying stuff.
We are there a lot, enough to where we were asked to volunteer on Customer Appreciation Day. And I pretty much just I go in the back and look for people and find things I need and harass Harriet, basically, all the time.
So, what drew you to freshwater versus saltwater?
Well, in my mind, saltwater was hard, which I think there's more that goes into saltwater than freshwater. Although when you have this many tanks, it's, this is a constant love-hate relationship, I think, because I love being in here. I love watching my fish. I love taking care of them and building the tanks and aquascaping and the hardscape and filtration. And I like all of it. But saltwater just seemed out of my wheelhouse a little bit with the dosing and the chemicals and things like this. And with freshwater, once you kind of get the water parameters set and you get on a regular water change schedule, it seems to be, they pretty much take care of themselves.
So how long have you been keeping tanks in general?
I got my first tank when I was 10. I had a 60-gallon hexagon tank with, I had 100 black mollies in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had all white gravel and all white decorations and black mollies, and soon I had all green decorations and like 10 black mollies because I was,
It's all mold.
I was 10 years old. I didn't know that, I had no idea about cycling or how to set up a tank and keep it running and keep it healthy.
What got you started with planted tanks? Looks like you've been pretty successful. You've got a lot of healthy plants in here.
I started watching this guy named Tech on YouTube, and I saw the things that you were doing with your tanks, and I got inspired, and I just started. I started with a 40-gallon breeder tank, and just kind of see what plants would grow and under what conditions, and once I kind of figured that out and which plants I liked growing and could grow, I kind of broke that tank down, separated all the plants, and then moved on to different species of fish, and I never looked back.
What people have told me is that plants are actually more complicated than keeping the basic saltwater tank. And so
I can almost believe it. It's like I said, it's a labor of love, a love-hate relationship. I've melted so many plants that just never came back.
Yeah.
And then some plants will melt away completely, and then a month later you'll see a little sprig of something pop up, and then next thing you know you have a minefield of Bacopa that's 2 feet tall. So
I know, it seems like they seem to grow when I don't want them to grow.
Right, exactly.
The ones that want to grow slow grow fast. The ones that want to grow fast grow slow. But
it's like the moss in this tank here on this piece of driftwood. I thought I had stripped it all off.
Yeah.
Because I didn't particularly want it on there.
Yeah.
And it lived. It came back. But it looks really cool in there now, so I'm happy with it. But
so, what are your plans for the future? Do you have other things going on with your tanks?
Man, I'm actually moving to Tampa in December.
Really?
So unfortunately, this is kind of like this video will help my fish room live on forever. But I hope to find a house down there with enough room to start over again. So.
Are you going to try to move your tanks, or are you going to sell them and just start over?
I'm definitely going to move the tanks themselves. Probably keep all the hardscape, but the fish, the plants, they're all going to be sold off. So.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, you should start an African cichlid tank.
I see you have a couple.
I know a guy that could get you in a couple of cichlids for a good deal.
All right, thank you so much for talking to me today. It's been really a pleasure.
Hey, I've been excited about this for about a month now, so I can wait.
Thank you very much, Billy.
Thank you.
And that's Billy's fish room. Boy, wasn't that interesting. I really think it's cool. I don't get to see other people's fish rooms very often, especially to that degree, you know, where they've got just a whole lot of tanks. It's always amazing to see what other people are doing, and it's really neat to see that I actually have an effect on anyone beyond maybe the couple of comments that I see now and then. But I thought it was really cool. I'm a little sad that I've just gotten to know him, and he's going to have to take all that stuff apart and move away soon, but at least we've got it documented, so anytime he wants to remember what he had going on, he could look back at this video and see it, and so can you.
That's all for this week. Until next time, follow your bliss and keep a clean tank.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. Sorry there's not a lot of bloopers this week. I'm just that well spoken, I guess. But if you'd like to see every aquarium video I've ever made, there's a playlist right here. You can take the deep dive into some pet techness. Also, if you want to see what's new on Pet Tech Games, I've just done a really cool documentary style video about Gen Con, and it's going to be right here. And don't forget to subscribe to catch all these videos every week. See you soon. Bye-bye.